Sometimes it's just not fair to be the child of a celebrity. There comes an added sense of pressure, the expectation that the child will have to go on and live up to the status of the parent. For Lebron James Jr., known as Bronny to most, the bar has been set pretty high. Lebron James is in the middle of a basketball career that many say is the best of all time. If he's not the best basketball player of all time, he's always in the conversation. With Bronny following in his father's footsteps, you can say that the young man is taking it all in stride as a 16-year-old sophomore. Being the child of a superstar like LeBron James, it's always assumed the child is under pressure to fill the shoes of their parent. In Bronny's case, that would mean the 16-year-old would be under tremendous pressure as he plays in front of packed houses every game and is under tremendous media scrutiny. Oh wait, he already does that, and the scrutiny is already happening. So if Bronny's feeling the heat, he's certainly not showing it. Playing for Sierra Canyon, a private school in Los Angeles, Bronny has become accustomed to playing in front of massive crowds. He's a sophomore now, who is constantly asked for his photograph and has ESPN televising his games. To most high schoolers, it might be overwhelming, but to Bronny, it's the norm. He's a great young man. He doesn't let anybody faze him, said teammate Zaire Williams. You'd be surprised all the stuff he has to go through. It's not fair, but he doesn't let it faze him. Bronny James is on a team that's full of stars. Williams was the 7th-ranked player in the country according to ESPN. BJ Boston was 6th and is headed to play at Kentucky. And Dwayne Wade's son, Zaire, is also on the team. But let's be real, everyone wants to see Bronny. He's the show. And being LeBron James' son, he knows this is all bigger than him and how to act during this time. So, speaking of big things, and being the son of the biggest NBA star on the planet comes with some major perks. Some of those perks are automatic fame, expensive toys, and celebrity-esque attention. And one of those many perks is that he can spend money just like a bona fide wealthy person can spend their money. And some of these things will be items he can buy now, but definitely will own once he hits the NBA. But before we jump in, please remember that if you've enjoyed the video thus far and can't wait to see what expensive items Bronny Jr. owns that you wish you did, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. Now let's dive in a bit deeper. Some of these things are speculative, so I should put out a warning, because Bronny is only 16 years old. But even at 16 years old, he has a net worth of over $11 million. The first is Bronny's Instagram account. Although social media and teenagers are a match made in heaven, LeBron tried to keep his son off Instagram for as long as possible. In fact, Bronny only joined the platform relatively recently. However, because of his fame, that absence hasn't impacted his follower count though. On May 27, 2019, LeBron took to his own Instagram account and posted a picture of Bronny, who was still 14 years old at the time. Under the photo, LeBron wrote, "Everyone welcome the heir to the throne to IG, at Bronny. Told him 3 years ago, the summer of 2019, I'd let him get one. Damn, time flies. Ha ha ha. Anyways, let's get Bronny. P.S. Keep y'all hating asses off his comments or we pullin' up." That definitely helped his following, so it should come at no surprise that some of Bronny's photos have more than 1 million likes, and several highlight videos have been viewed as many as 9 million times. While those numbers may pale in comparison to LeBron's Instagram, Bronny's followers are currently sitting at 5.7 million followers, which makes Bronny's totals incredibly impressive, especially given his age and limited time in the spotlight. For a shocking comparison, Jimmy Butler, for example, only has 5.6 million followers despite being in the finals, versus his father and the lead superstar for the Miami Heat. Bottom line is that he can make thousands of dollars per post because of his brand and his presence on social media. If he was an ordinary teenager, this wouldn't be happening. It must be good to be Bronny. Another impressive and expensive thing Bronny has is his shoe collection. He's a sneakerhead, and he has many LeBrons, Yeezys, Jordans, Kyrie's, KD's, and Paul George's shoe. He definitely splurges on it. The total cost of his shoe collection is something that the normal 16-year-old does not even come close to, and are probably pretty envious over. Soon, Bronny Jr. will have his license, and he will get a really nice vehicle. We all know his father has an extensive and jaw-dropping car collection, so fine taste in automobiles runs in the family. We can only speculate what he will be driving, but it will probably be something similar to what Dwayne Wade got his son and Bronny Jr.'s teammate, Zaire. He got him a $50,000 to $60,000 Audi SUV. But maybe LeBron will go big like Shaq, who got his daughter a G-Wagon for her 16th birthday that costs roughly $120,000 to $130,000. Whatever Bronny gets, I'm sure it's bound to turn heads. You can get your learner's permit at 15 and a half in the state of California, so I'm sure the young man already has that and is scouting what he wants to drive. If I may make a suggestion, I'd suggest the Stormtrooper Edition Tesla, but that's just me. Besides Bronny's shoe game, his clothes are very impressive. Young Bronny definitely knows how to dress to impress. He owns a lot of designer clothes and is not afraid to wear them like a boss. At the All-Star Game a few years ago, Bronny Jr. was wearing a Gucci ensemble that looked better than some of the NBA players that were sitting in the stands. You can say that Bronny's closet is an expensive one. Once he hits college or the NBA, young Bronny will need a place to live at. Most likely, he will not be buying or living in a multi-million-dollar mansion, but he will probably be buying himself a nice condo or apartment to be putting his feet up when he's not on the court. And again, for his age, he will probably own a nicer pad than any of us will have. In conclusion, it is hard to be a son or daughter of a famous baller, and Bronny's situation is unique with him trying to fill his father's shoes. He has a lot of what he needs and wants in life, and hopefully he uses his fame and fortune for good use. But in the meantime, we will enjoy seeing what he splurges his money on next.